Hey, welcome. Today, we are diving into something we all do every single day, speaking. But this isn't just about making noise. We're going to explore how to take your speaking from just talking into real, powerful communication that actually makes people listen.
You know the feeling, right? We have all been there. You're in a meeting, you're explaining what you think is a brilliant idea, or maybe you're just telling a story to a friend, and you see it, that look. Their eyes just kind of glaze over. You get that sinking feeling that your words are just vanishing into thin air. It's so frustrating, isn't it?
And that feeling, right there, it points to a really crucial truth. There is a huge difference between just saying words and someone else actually understanding them. There's this gap between the message you think you're sending and the one that actually lands. So, in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to build a bridge right across that gap. Okay, so before we can fix the problem, we've got to understand what's causing it. Why do our messages get lost? Why does this communication gap even exist in the first place? Let's get into it.
The number one culprit, according to all the research, is something called communication noise. And let me be clear, this is not just about a noisy room or a crackly phone line. In the world of communication, noise is literally anything that gets in the way of your message being heard correctly.
And what's wild is how many forms this noise can take. It could be a physical thing, like the room being too hot or too cold. It could be a language barrier, sure, but it could also just be you using a bunch of industry jargon that your audience has no clue about. It can even be emotional. If you're stressed out or your listener is worried about something else, that's noise. And a huge one today is information overload. Just throwing too much at people at once pretty much guarantees they'll tune out. Just seeing these barriers is the first crucial step to breaking through them.
All right, so we've identified the problem. Now for the fun part, the solution. I want you to think of what's coming next as your own personal speaker's toolkit. A bunch of really powerful, super practical tools that you can start using right away to cut through all that noise and make a real impact.
This whole toolkit is built on 3 super solid pillars. First, it's about how you actually build your message before you even say a word. Second, it's how you deliver it with your voice and your body. And third, it's all about how you create a real, genuine connection with your audience. So let's open up this toolkit and check them out.
Pillar number 1 is all about the blueprint, structuring your message. First up, clarity. It's so important. Keep your language simple and direct. Then you need a solid structure, a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's like a roadmap for your listener's brain. It makes it easy for them to follow you. But maybe the most important tool here is knowing your audience. What do they actually care about? What do they already know? You have to tailor your message for them if you want it to have any chance of landing.
Okay, pillar 2 is all about your delivery. This is the nonverbal stuff, and it is incredibly powerful. Your body language says so much. Open gestures, good posture, making eye contact, these things signal confidence and trust. And then there's your voice. Think of it like an instrument. If you just play one note, it's boring, right? You have to vary your pitch, your volume, and your speed to keep people engaged. And please, do not underestimate the power of a good pause. Sometimes a moment of silence is the most powerful way to make a point.
And finally, pillar 3 is where you turn a speech into a conversation. You've got to engage your audience. And the best way to do that? Use stories and ask questions. Our brains are just wired to pay attention to them. But it's a two-way street. You have to watch their reactions. Are they with you or are they on their phones? Be ready to change things up based on that feedback. And most of all, just be yourself. Be authentic. People connect with real people, not perfectly polished robots. That trust is everything.
So, we've got our toolkit. Now let's see how it works in the real world. We're going to look at some of the most common speaking mistakes people make and see exactly how these tools can turn a total barrier into a major breakthrough.
Okay, here's a perfect example. The barrier, that flat, monotone voice that could put anyone to sleep. The technique from our toolkit, voice modulation. Just by changing your pitch and pace, you can turn a boring fact into a really interesting idea. It's such a small shift, but it makes a massive difference.
And here's another classic. The barrier is that disorganized, rambling message that's just impossible to follow. The technique? That simple, powerful structure. A beginning, a middle, and an end. It gives your listener that roadmap, making it easy for them to follow along and actually remember what you said.
Theory is one thing, but let's get practical. How does this toolkit actually work in those high-pressure situations we all face? Let's quickly look at 3 of them: the presentation, the meeting, and of course, the job interview.
First up, the big presentation. The keys here: back up what you're saying with clear visuals and data. Don't just talk at people. Pull them in that asking questions. And seriously, the #1 rule is practice, practice, practice. It builds confidence and smooths out all the rough edges.
Next, the meeting. To make sure it's not a waste of time, you have to show up prepared with a clear agenda. Your job isn't just to talk, it's to get other people to talk too. And this is so important. Listen. I mean, really listen. Good communication is a two-way street.
And finally, the interview. This is where being concise is king. You want your answers to be short, relevant, and directly focused on your best skills. And don't just wing it. Prepare for those common questions so you can deliver your answers with confidence.
You know, when you really boil it all down, this is what we're talking about. This quote really says it all. Speaking effectively is not just about moving information from your brain to someone else's. It's about inspiring people, persuading them, and building the trust that is the bedrock of pretty much every meaningful relationship we have.
So as we wrap things up here, I just want to leave you with this one thought. Your voice is probably the most powerful tool you have for shaping your life and the world around you. So the question isn't if you can become an effective speaker. You can. The real question is, how are you going to use it?